Hi, Internet. Today, I want to talk to you about weddings. You may or may not know that I got married last year, and I'm going to be in my sister's wedding in a few weeks. And so I've kind of started to notice things, and I wanted to talk about it. Specifically, traditions in marriage. And that is not to say traditional marriage. What I want to talk about is the opinions that you're going to get from people if you're getting married. You'll talk to people and everyone has an opinion. You have to do this because it's a tradition. My wife was told in front of me before we were engaged, she was told you have to have everybody who asks you to be a bridesmaid as a bridesmaid. And I was like, well, what if what if you're in 100 weddings? You can't have 100 people in your wedding party. It's insane. This isn't just exclusive to weddings, but the thing with tradition is that people don't think about it or what the real implication is, and they just do it. Honestly, the way my wife and I broke it down, when we first got engaged, actually, we maybe even spoke about it before, we decided that we were going to make a couple rules. Some of the things had logistical purposes, like points to them, like the cocktail hour, for example. You have a cocktail hour so that you can go take your pictures. And that's the function of it, so that the guests are entertained while you're going and taking the pictures. The different traditions, that tradition, we would get quoted them all the time when we were like, oh, we're not doing that. And, well, it's traditional. You have to do that. And friends, family, people were just saying it left and right. And every time it came up, I started being a smartass, and anytime somebody quoted tradition to me, I would ask why my father-in-law hadn't given me a piece of land and a goat. Marriage comes from a business transaction. That's originally what it was. And so the reason for many traditions isn't relevant. And so, some of it was nice. There were certain things, like we liked the idea of her father walking her down the aisle. Both of her parents walked her down the aisle. We didn't do it like a big who gives this woman thing, because it's a little misogynistic, and it's a little bit bizarre. Like, I don't know. I don't want a piece of property. But we did get rid of a lot of little things. A huge reason why we didn't get married in the church was that I didn't want to get married 45 minutes away or a half hour away from the venue where we were going to have the reception. I just wanted we got married outside, you walk into the tent for the reception. There were all kinds of traditions. We didn't do the garter because it's creepy. The reason why I bring it up, this is like I said before, it's not true to just weddings. We're going to all see in our lives that, like, there are these, things that you're supposed to do. If the reason is I enjoy it and it hurts nobody, then that's a good enough reason. If the reason is because that's the way it's always been done, that is not a good enough reason. Assuming that it hurts somebody. The wedding thing is really a perfect example. For example, daylight savings. We have daylight savings, at least in the United States. Most of us, except for Arizona, I think doesn't have daylight savings. If the reason daylight savings was put into effect was because it was trying to keep the day fairly centered for people who are working, especially like farming jobs and stuff, but people who are working during the day, which was the norm 100 years ago, 120 years ago. It was normal that you would work from roughly 5 or 6 in the morning. You'd start getting up and getting ready to work, and you'd work until 5 or 6 in the afternoon, the evening. And so we had to have daylight savings. We're in a society where there's, between retail jobs and restaurants and medical and other emergency professional jobs, there's less and less people working what is more traditional hours. We have a lot of people working weekends. We have a lot of people working nights, whether it be overnights or further into the night. So that the concept of daylight savings doesn't necessarily make as much sense. I don't know that it's hurting anybody, so it's not a big. I'm not trying to rail for no daylight savings. I'm just saying that when you don't understand why something was put into effect, it's very difficult to be able to make a good decision on whether or not we should keep a tradition or we should lose a tradition. And so hopefully that's the message that I'm trying to get across in this particular video is think about it. You know, think about, does this hurt somebody? Think about, does this benefit somebody? And think about, why did this begin in the first place? And if you do that, I think we can make much better decisions. Please comment, subscribe, or like below. And yes, there is a wrong way to eat a pizza. First of all, I don't think Pizza Hut's pizza is very good. Or something, when the movie was made, is a better Anakin than Hayden Christensen was.